Hello, and welcome to another episode of The End of the Search. This one I call it How to Be Normal. And it's based on a question someone asks. Nick, with all the insights, my mind bothers me with the question, how am I supposed to lead a normal life if I know all this? That's what Ken Wapnick says all the time, be normal. Can you perhaps tell us something about this seemingly inner discontent between the two inner teachers and normal life in everyday life? Thank you very much for that. Okay, first of all, Dr. Kenneth Wapnick, he's the one responsible to help put the Course in Miracles in the reading format, chapters and everything like that. Everything with the supervision of Helen Schucman, which is the scribe of the Course, and William Thetford, who helped Helen Schucman typing the information she was receiving. Now, when you're talking about being normal, what happens is that when people get into the spiritual journey, well, there's all sorts of concepts, ideas that come up, and all of a sudden they think that spirituality looks in a particular way, and some may say I have to go and live in a cave, or some may say I just have to let go and let God, so to speak, but always from the perspective of the separate individual, you see, that now is trying to mix two worlds, is trying to take the world of truth, or truth is trying to bring it and mix it with illusions. What he's pointing to is that life unfolds as it will. You will continue to do the very same things every normal human being does. The difference, however, is that you do it with a different mentality. You don't label things, this is spiritual, this is not spiritual or something. You see how if you're hungry, you eat. If you want to go on a trip, you may find yourself making plans on it. If you would like to save for your kids' college or something, you will find yourself putting a trust fund. I mean, you're still living the regular life everybody lives. The difference, however, is that whatever you do, there's no attachment to anything, and you know that this is what is done, but it's not important, means absolutely nothing. For example, whatever I do, I find myself doing it knowing that it is just what happens in the script, you see. In other words, I don't stop being or looking normal to most people, but underneath there's a recognition, there's an understanding that this is all happening that has nothing to do with me. Because the investigation of getting to know who I truly am is clearly established, and then of course I see how life unfolds. Right now, life has me doing a video, for example, and I see how life unfolds. Again, you see, it's not that the information is going to get in the way of living a normal life. It's not making the mistake of taking the information and taking it out of context, which is what usually happens, you see. As you know who you are, then you just see how life unfolds. That's it. And again, there's a recognition that I am not making anything happen. Everything is happening through me. So if you put a trust fund for your kids for college, you say, well, this is what life is leading me to do right now, but I don't know if this trust fund will ever actually make it to the desired result. I don't know if maybe halfway through I find myself spending the money or something happens or whatever, but it's irrelevant. This is just something that I seems to be led to do as I continue living this life. Now, this is when it gets interesting, because a lot of the things that we used to do, they were based on, they're fear-based, on a false sense of identity, and maybe many of those things, as you become more conscious of the fact that you are, you may find yourself that many of those things are not necessarily interested. You're not interested in doing them anymore, you see. But all will happen very organically. So you wake up in the morning and life unfolds and you do whatever you find yourself doing, and that's fine. That's a normal life, living a normal life. You have kids. You're not going to say, well, I'm spiritual, therefore I'm going to imagine that they're going to wake up on themselves and they're just going to make breakfast and they're going to do well in school. No, you just deal with the same challenges every parent has to deal with. Come on, wake up, we got to go to school. I don't want to go to school. Or, yes, you have to. Come on, Joey, we have to. But everything is done in a light-hearted way, It's not like you're a bad kid because you're not waking up and no, you realize that that's part of, he or she has their own personality and that's what happens, you see. You still make the breakfast and you do all the things you do, but again, it's done differently. It's not so important. It's not so rigid, you see. And then if the body gets sick, you'll find yourself maybe going to the hospital if you have to, or seeing a doctor, or maybe, I don't know. But this is where, again, spirituality gets in the way and people say, okay, I know that I am not a body, therefore I'm going to trust the body's going to heal itself. Well, we're paying a price over here because we're listening to the mind, you see. So there's no really what to do or not to do. It's just simply see life unfolding while simultaneously there's a recognition that this is just a play. You don't tell this to anybody, they'll call you crazy, but it's all a play, and then it reflects in your attitude in life. You wake up in the morning and you see life unfolds as it will, you see, and you do whatever you do. See, that's what it meant. So let's not get confused about this stuff. It's very, very simple. You keep living your life as you did before. You don't try to spiritualize it. You don't try to conceptualize with spiritual terms or something like that, You see how things are done. And at the same time, that you're not doing anything. That everything is done through you. This is why these videos are paradoxical. Because on one end, it appears that I would say just live a normal life, and at the other end, I'm saying that you will live the life you're supposed to live according to how life itself expresses through you as an instrument. In my case, I don't have any conflict whatsoever, because what I do is, what life through this instrument does, is I see how each moment is only the present moment, and I find myself in that present moment doing whatever I'm doing, which may seem to have a coherence in it, but in reality I just see it unfold, and then this is what I'm supposed to do, and this is what I'm doing because it's what's happening. And if a plan comes about doing something else, I see how the thought comes through, and then according to that thought I either act accordingly or maybe I don't. I don't know. That's why life to me is simple. I wake up every morning, life unfolds. Throughout the day, things are done. And then at night, I go to bed and everything disappears. And that's it. End of story. End of the life of this seeming character. And then if I wake up the next morning, that implies that the play continues. And I see how life unfolds. It's a mystery. It's living in the uncertainty of knowing that no matter what happens, is life unfolding through the instrument. And once again, I still live a normal life. I gotta go to the supermarket to buy some groceries. I have a friend who's a nutritionist. She gave me this diet, and it's not a diet, but again, it's just a regimen, whatever. And I'm just enjoying it. So I'm just eating that particular regimen. And again, in spirituality, somebody could say, but if it's not real, why you're eating like that? I mean, you're not a body. You're supposed to be, you're one with everything. What does it matter if you eat this or that? And I say, I know that it doesn't matter. I'm aware that it doesn't matter. But for me, somehow life is instructing this instrument to eat in that particular way. And I see how it unfolds. And if life doesn't want me to eat that way anymore, well, I'll find myself not eating that way anymore. You see? It's very simple. See? Why do I exercise? Well, according to, I like exercising. That's the first thing, number one. And on top of that, it seems as if I have some benefit from it. But again, in spirituality, but if you're not a body, you're making the body important. You're giving reality to the body. Again, this is, I think this is where it gets all confusing. You know, yes, I am not a body and you're not a body. I am, you are, life is, and yet within the context of the play, there's a role that seems to be played by this seeming me and that seeming you. I play the role while at the same time I do not believe in it. See the difference? So if you're a doctor, you will play the role as a doctor, but you don't go out there thinking, oh, I feel so wonderful because I'm a doctor. No, you just see, this is just what you're doing. That's your character, that's a play. And then when you go home, you're not a doctor, you're a father or a husband or I don't know, whatever you're supposed to play in that moment. Right now, I'm playing the role of somebody who's making a video. That's a role, means nothing. A minute ago, I finished a song that I am working on right now, finished the lyrics. That makes me a musician? No, it's an activity that happened. You see? And that's how life is lived. And what life has what will unfold through this instrument? I don't know. I don't know what life has in store for me. I have no clue. But the difference is that there's no attachment to any results. You just see how life unfolds, and then you rest in peace, the peace that surpasses all understanding. And this is what these videos are pointing to. So once again, you continue living a normal life. What it's saying, at least the way I understand it, is that don't make any of the details of the movie important. That's the difference. You still go to the supermarket, you still do the things you do, but none of it is important. You see, I still do the regimen, I don't know how to say it in English, but it's régimen alimenticio. That's what I'm trying to say in English. That's why I call it diet. So I still eat that way. Because that's the way it is. As a matter of fact, I wrote a book. It's not what you eat, it's what you eat it with. Check that book. Yes, it's dual. It's dual because I wrote 3 books that are in the realm of duality. But they had something to point to. One, it's called, again, is not what you eat, it's what you eat it with. And another one, what love maybe is not, which I strongly recommend. And the third one, I don't remember the title, but anyway, here's the picture. And yeah, they were fun. I enjoy writing those books, and they have a lot of great stuff in there. But now if you're strictly in non-duality, which is what the other books are about, well, then once again, let's not try to somehow complicate the simplicity of life. That's what I always use, the before enlightenment shop would carry water, after enlightenment shop would carry water. It's another say, before enlightenment you're normal, after enlightenment you're still normal. You see? Because nothing is going to change significantly, but the way you do it is going to change. And yeah, on the surface things could also change, but makes no difference. When you're sleeping and you're dreaming, doesn't matter what you're dreaming. No, it makes no difference, has no effect on you in bed. However, psychologically, it may seem as though a bad dream may have certain psychological effects, and a good dream may have a different psychological effect. But in the end, either it's a bad dream or a good dream, none of them has any effect on you in bed. Well, so is life. You're still living your normal life, safe and sound in a sense of psychologically, while you're still playing all the roles that you're supposed to play. You're still playing the normal life, but now because you have this information or this insight and you're aware of this, you live life happily. You experience the peace that surpasses all understanding. And regarding to the question here, all the insights, you see, the insights allows you to live a happy life. That's it. Not a different life in a sense of things will go the way some kind of spiritual ideas or ideology you may have conjured up with. No, you live your normal life, but with a smile in your face, you see, because now you know that you know. And this is where this is pointing to. We're not going to mix spirituality with the human experience. As the Bible says, Caesar to what is Caesar, and God what belongs to God. Well, truth is truth, and that's fine. And the world of appearances is the world of appearances. And you see how I play the role of this seeming character in the world of appearances, while simultaneously I am. Well, this is inspiration that came through. I hope it served. And as always, may peace permeate the mind so that love can be extended.